Welcome to Witch Talks, the series for spiritual seekers, witches, and enlightened souls. I'm Hannah the Suburban Witch, professional tarot reader, astrologer, and witch, and I hope you're ready to get up close and personal with your favourite witches. Hello, you beautiful thing. It's so good to have you here today. We are answering another Hana Help Me question for today's episode. Now, if you have a question that you want to ask me, please send it through to info@suburbanwitchery.com, or you can DM me on social media if that is easier for you. Remember, we have a Witch Talks specific Instagram, which is @Witch Talks Podcast. So this question comes in from Presley, and they've asked, Hannah, help me. Is it okay to have flower petals spread across the floor of the room when you're casting a spell? Does it energize or deplete the magical spiritual energy, or have no effects? For context, these petals just happen to be there. Thank you, from Presley. So Presley, this is actually a wonderful, wonderful question because it really brings into question, does the location matter when you're doing spell work? And does what's around you matter when you're doing spell work? And the answer to that is yes, it does, and no, it doesn't. Let me explain. So I think there are a couple of things here. Firstly, if you're doing a positive spell, right? So beneficial magic, beauty, love, prosperity, abundance, energy, whatever you're trying to bring in. Those flower petals, if you look at them and you think they're pretty, totally fine, great. Keep them there. That's not going to affect your spell negatively at all. It may boost it, it may do nothing. It's no big deal, right? Now, if you were doing something like a return to sender instead, right? Someone sent you some nasty energy, you're sending it back, you're sitting there and you're trying to do your spell and you look down, you see these petals and you think they're pretty, well, that might cross some wires in your spell work. That might just shift you out of your focus momentarily for the opposite result of what you're wanting. So I think it depends on the person. And it depends on the thing that's around as to how it will affect you. And it also depends on the actual type of spell work that you're doing. So the bigger question here, which is, does the location matter when you're spellcasting and the things that are in that location? Let's say, for example, you have a picture of your religious grandmother up on the wall and you're sitting in front of it trying to cast a spell when you know that they would not have approved of it. I would say that that's not a good place to be doing your magic. I think it will impact the spell to have someone almost like staring down at you and judging you. That's not a good vibe, right? So I'd be saying move the picture or move yourself. Now, I have a rug on my floor. Does my rug impact my spell work? No. Now, before I do a spell, do I look around my room and move things out of the way? Yes, to clean up, but no in terms of like getting rid of them. So I'm not doing a little inventory before I do any of my spell work, right? Because I really don't think it affects it that much. But overarching in terms of location, if I'm doing spell work that might not be deemed as beneficial, so baneful workings, ideally you probably don't want to be doing them in your home if you can help it. Now, if you're doing a spell and there's somebody in your home that thinks that magic and witchcraft is silly and not real, I think that energy will absolutely throw you off. Especially if you're trying to do your spell work and you know they might overhear you, so you like make yourself a bit quieter, a bit smaller. That is going to absolutely mess with your spell work. We don't want any of that. Now, lastly, I do think that spell location matters because think about this. Oh my God, that guy with the frickin' mower again. All right, just cut for a second because every single time I have sat down to record for the podcast or to film a YouTube video in the past 3 weeks, the groundskeeper man at the school behind my house has decided to mow the lawn. How much lawn is there to mow? Why is he always mowing? Does he not have other things to do? Do I need to go and, I don't know, spread some weeds or something for him to go and pluck out so he's not always mowing? I've even asked the school if they can give me like his mowing schedule so I can plan it around when I'm recording. And they're like, oh, he just does it when he feels like it. It's not your therapy, mister. Mowing is not therapy. Okay, so back to the topic. Can you imagine if you go down to a graveyard in the middle of the night to do a spell? you are going to be on edge. You are going to have heightened adrenaline. Your spell work will probably be very, very effective because you're in a different altered mind state just based on your location. So I think we can really boost our spell work depending on where we do it and what's around us at the time and who we're with as well. But simply having something like flower petals on the floor and other things around you, I don't think is going to impact it in a negative way in the way that you're asking. So I hope this helps. So as I said, if you have a question that you want answered on the podcast, please send it through to me. I would love to help you out because by helping you out, we're helping lots of people out, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, if you are looking for more community, witchy community, I need to let you know about the Suburban Witches Society. It is my personal membership and it is an absolute blast. We have a monthly group call where we all get to chat and I give a reading to everyone on the call. And you can submit a question if you can't make it for the call, so you still get your reading. And this is like, tarot reading or astrology reading, whatever it is you're wanting. Whatever question you have, I'll answer it. And we do these calls on the first Friday of the month. They alternate from 10 a.m. or 8 p.m., alternating each month, just so that I can be accessible for people in multiple time zones. And those times are in Australian Eastern Standard Time, Brisbane time. And that's not the only community. We've got our private Facebook group, which is so active. For a group, we've got about 30 people, I think, in there. And we're getting multiple posts a day. It is a very active small group on Facebook and we're all becoming very good friends. It's wonderful. There's also a resources section and a behind the scenes section in the membership portal on my website. So you get it's almost set up like a course, so you can see which ones you've completed, which ones you've watched. There is access to classes that I haven't made available to the public. There is access to behind the scenes podcast episodes and they're uncut and you get all the before and after. It's really, really fun. That's with the interview episodes with my guests. You get behind the scenes of my practice. I filmed my year ahead spread, which was very, very eerie with what came up. And I put that up there because I think that's really helpful and everyone loved it. I filmed me resetting my business altar and how I did that. I've got tarot spread PDFs that you can download and try the tarot spreads. There's cheat sheets for learning astrology. There's spells that you can utilize. So I've put them in there. There's so much. There's so much. Now you can access it for $30 a month. You can try it for 1 month. So for $30, you can go in and just try all the things and see if it's for you and then cancel if you want. But I would love to see you in there. I love getting to know all of my society members. We have an absolute blast. It's one of my favorite things that I actually do. So I'd love to see you there. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. As always, I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are in the world today. And I will catch you next time. P.S. This was a very small episode, wasn't it? I'm so proud of myself. Usually I'm a rambler, but today I did pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I'll chat to you next time.